devotional service, text number 8. In the Sanskrit is as follows. Mayeva mana adasva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivashisyasi mayeva ata udvam nasamsaya. And the translation by His Divine Grace, Sri Swami Prabhupada. Krishna is speaking in this verse. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. And in the purport, one who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotional service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna and his internal potency, which is Radharani, are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although there is a process recommended in the Bhagavata and in other Vedic literatures. Om Ajnana Atimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayambhupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. When Srila Prabhupada became widely known as the Jagat Guru, Guru is there. Everyone has some sort of guru of some sort in any way. Like sometimes your mother and your father also may be guru. Two newspaper reporters came to interview His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada in Bombay, in Mumbai, in the mid 70s, 1975. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he is already widely known all over the world. So it was worthy for these newspaper reporters to come and interview, to put articles in their newspapers. And besides the India Times and the Free Press Journal, others also came to hear what Srila Prabhupada was being questioned about for the interview. So the principal interviewers at that time was a highly cultured lady from a leading newspaper, and another principal interviewer was interviewing at the same time, was a very controversial man. Obviously, they did their homework on who Srila Prabhupada is and what is the Hare Krishna movement and what is happening in the movement. So at that time in the Western world, some disagreement was there between the male-bodied devotees and the female-bodied devotees. And one of the disagreements was that why are the female-bodied devotees always given services that are like second to the men who get the leading services? In other words, there was a sort of controversy that seeped into the movement of, in inverted commas, making the women-bodied devotees and the female-bodied devotees so-called second class and the men first class. Categorizing them, which was not the case actually with Srila Prabhupada and the movement, but this seeped in. So that sort of became an article in one of the lesser newspapers that was secularized in Mumbai. And the article was in the Maharashtrian language because they speak Maharashtrian in that state where Mumbai is. And the two interviewers were speaking in Hindi. So one of Srila Prabhupada's early followers who helped him, and his father helped him, he was later initiated as Srinachi Das, and he's late now. In fact, his big limousine, he's a big industrialist, his father. His father was a member of parliament. So it was his limousine, a big car, that drove Srila Prabhupada for the last time in 1977 and took him to the railway station. And they hired a whole coach for Srila Prabhupada to go to leave us in November of 1977 in Vrindavan, India. So he was present for the interview and it was in Hindi. So Srila Prabhupada was ready, and the controversial man started first because he wanted to dominate the discussions. So he brought up this point that he has heard, and from newspaper reports, that the women in the Hare Krishna movement are treated second class, as they use those words, and the men are treated first class. And he went to the extent to say that the women are always being placed in the back and the men are being placed in the front, in Hindi. Like that. So he was quite uncultured with Srila Prabhupada. In fact, he didn't know his own dharma. Yes. But the woman newspaper reporter, she was very, very respectful. She offered obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, Maharaji, calling him by, you could say, names that are meant to be addressed to an exalted sadhu, like Srila Prabhupada. So during the interview itself, which I heard directly from Srinachi Prabhu, the controversial interview with the male body, he was pushing this point, which I just mentioned. Then Srila Prabhupada asked him that, with your permission, can I ask some questions, which I also use in my classes. When somebody asks me a question, I ask them a question to answer their own question. So Srila Prabhupada did the same thing. He asked the male newspaper reporter in Hindi, in the administration of the universal affairs, who is the Minister of Education? And this low-class fellow didn't even know that. Do you know? You don't know? Naughty? At least she's honest, she's humble. So the lady newspaper reporter said, Maharajji, Swamiji, I know. Tell him. So she looked at him in the face, the man and said, Goddess or Mother Saraswati. Now you know. Then Srila Prabhupada asked him the next question. Who is the Minister of Finance? By this time he was a little on guard. And he sort of thought about it. Do you know? Who? Lakshmi Devi. Yes. And then Srila Prabhupada asked the next question to this man. Who is the Minister of Defense? And then Srila Prabhupada made him a little bit comfortable. He said, in any government, besides the Prime Minister or the President, these three ministers may sometimes hold more power than the Prime Minister. The Minister of Education, because of the propaganda machine, the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Defense. So he asked him, who is the Minister of Defense? At this time he was really on guard. He said, Maharajji, I know. So what is it? He said, Durga Mata. That is true. Then Srila Prabhupada asked, and in this time the lady newspaper reporter, she was so happy. Three goddesses are principal ministers in the universal affairs. So then Srila Prabhupada asked him, do you have any more questions? He put his head down and he said, she can ask. So this is our lineage. The three goddesses hold the most important positions in the administration of the universe. Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga. Then Srila Prabhupada told him, I have one more question. He asked him, who is the Prime Minister? Who is the Mahamantri? He said, and who is the Mahamantri? Who is the Prime Minister? He didn't know. So Prabhupada said, tell him. He told the female reporter, tell him. And she said immediately, she said, Srimati Radharani. And then Srila Prabhupada asked her to explain to him who is Srimati Radharani. And it's amazingly enough, she explained very well because we serve Radha Krishna. She did her homework. And she said Srimati Radharani is non-different from Krishna, and you cannot separate Radharani from Krishna. Just like we say here, Shri Shri Radha Radhana. There's no and in between. There's no and in between. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and other scriptures, it is very clear that you cannot separate Radha from Krishna. You cannot separate Radha from Krishna. The only persons who do not separate Radha from Krishna but address Radharani are her camp in Vaishana. That means they can say, in a very casual way, in an informal way, "Hey Radhe," "Hey Radhe," they can say that. But we get that sort of consolation to also say that on this particular day. Only on this particular day. So therefore it is very important, most important to understand that Srimati Radharani is not your regular female-bodied person in the material world. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives a very nice analogy in the sense of musk and fragrance and fire that gives heat and light. So those analogies are very relevant for us here. Having a material body in the earthly form here. When you want to associate with fire, obviously you won't exist. You get burnt. The body gets burnt and the body will disappear. But you can associate with fire to its temperamental emanation of heat and light. You cannot directly associate with fire. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says Jwala Haita and Mirgamanda Aichaganda, which means musk and fragrance and heat and light from fire. Now, obviously when we associate with heat and light that comes from fire, then we associate with the fire in a temperamental way that's conducive for our bodies and for our consciousness for now. But you cannot separate the heat and light from fire, neither can you separate the fragrance from musk. They are inseparable. In fact, one cannot exist without the other. They cannot exist without the other. So similarly, Srimati Radharani, given this analogy relative to our material experience in the scriptures, she cannot exist without Krishna. She cannot exist without Krishna. So this morning when I came for Mangal Arati, I'm a bit of a fault finder, forgive me for that. Maybe an extreme fault finder sometimes. I haven't fallen yet, I don't know what's keeping me together. Still, maybe some causeless mercy. Srila Prabhupada and his followers. Yeah. So when I came to offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada around about 3:45, I came 45 minutes early to chant Raj before Mangalarati. So I saw two facial photos of Srimati Radharani, and I decided she would bow a little low. So I'm looking now, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? I couldn't find Krishna. So I gently took them out and put them somewhere else. It's somewhere there next to where the cake's house. So I asked one devotee, who did this? He said, why? I said, no, this is not correct. Prabhupada will not accept that. Because you can never separate Radharani from Krishna. As much as you cannot separate the heat and light from fire, and you cannot separate fragrance from musk. That we should understand. So therefore, relatively speaking, there is a huge difference between the male and female forms in the material. Including the demigods and demigoddesses, they are separate entities. Except for Radha Krishna, and Lakshmi Narayana and Sitaram. Everyone else is a separate entity. in that sense. So therefore, we may sometimes have a tendency, due to so much experience from so many lives in the material world, which Srila Prabhupada says in the preface, where he sort of gave a bait to catch, basically. He said in the preface of the Krishna book that people will ask the question, when he put the painting of Radha Krishna on the cover of the Krishna book, immediately he said those, especially in the Western world, will ask, who is this person? He mentions that in the preface. And then we will say, this is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Srila Prabhupada said, and then definitely ask the question, who is the girl standing next to him? And who is the girl? So when one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, why did you say that in the preface? And then Srila Prabhupada directly hit him. We say in Devon language. He directly hit him, so-called in his dials. Directly. And Srila Prabhupada asked, are you interested in knowing the girl or the boy? He said, no, Srila Prabhupada, not like that. And he said, Srila Prabhupada said, because you are attached to sex life, you are asking this question. You are asking this question. So it is very important to know that Radharani is not that type of person in relationship to Krishna. It's not on the mundane platform. Because you cannot separate, in the analogy, heat and light from fire, and you cannot separate fragrance from the master. That's how tight-knit it is. So, one time, a very wealthy industrialist, he was so wealthy that anyone who becomes the Prime Minister of India, he could choose. There are people like that. So he doesn't need to vote. So he came and met Srila Prabhupada in Juhu in Mumbai. And this was related to me because His Holiness Bhakti Swami heard it from somebody who knew Hindi. So this man, he came to visit Srila Prabhupada, and he came with one family member. So this person, he was influenced, not in a deep way, but it is a general influence in Bharata Bhumi or India, where people may criticize Krishna for having 16,108 wives. They may criticize him. Of course, from the girlfriend side, Radharani is the chief. So one is wife, and there is girlfriend. What's going on? This is God. How can he be so naughty? How can he be so immoral? So this man came with that consciousness because he was influenced by what is called impersonalism or Mayavada philosophy, not in a deep way. He was very sincere in his query. So he immediately, when Srila Prabhupada asked him, do you have any questions? So he said, Srila Prabhupada, how is Krishna can be God when he has a girlfriend and he has 16,108 wives in blood? So first Srila Prabhupada shot him. Because a devotee, what to speak, an exalted personality of Srila Prabhupada, a devotee of Krishna, he goes on fire when he hears these things. And Srila Prabhupada shot him. He said, for Krishna, 16,108 wives are not enough. And he said, koti, 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 koti. Means billions and billions are still not enough. Then he really shut him down. He wasn't scared. This sound was very funny. He wasn't scared. Prabhupada was fearless. This man can influence the Prime Minister of India, but he was fearless. Stood his ground. Is the sound okay? Yes. Yeah. Because because my voice is stretching. Go ahead. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, Srila Prabhupada asked him, who is that lady next to you? Now he was shocked because in high Vedic culture in Bharatbhumi, India, you never asked a question to an aristocratic gentleman who was of high culture coming to visit you. You never asked such a question. Who is that lady next to you? It's a big insult. Okay. So the man, he was hesitant to say. He said, but Maharaji, Swamiji, how can you ask me such an uncultured question? It's challenging, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, you answer my questions, because if you answer my question, I will answer your question completely by your answer. Who is that lady next to you? By this time, we came to know that his wife is a very faithful devotee of Krishna, but not him. And then she said to her husband, like, my dear Pati, can you answer Maharaji's question in a gentle way? Now that's another breaking of culture, that the wife is not supposed to speak in front of the husband when he is questioning somebody. It's a very refined culture. But she couldn't help it. She couldn't help it because she felt that Pati, her husband, is disrespecting a sadhu. So when she eventually convinced him, say, who am I? So he told, this is my Patni, my wife. Then Srila Prabhupada, he told her the next question. For how long? 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, for how long? He said, you have stole her from Krishna's enjoyment because you want to enjoy her. And put the whole case to us. Radharani is meant for Krishna's enjoyment exclusively. Because she is non-different from Krishna, just as heat and light are non-different from fire. But all of us are also meant for Krishna's enjoyment. And that personality, in that conducive nature of the heat and light, which we can associate with the fire, that personality accepts our services and offers it to Krishna, because she can enter the fire of Krishna consciousness. And that's it. So here, in this particular purport I read, Srila Prabhupada has given us the highest truth from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And I'll read that one particular line. Srila Prabhupada says here, the holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants, everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now raise your hands, all of you, high, and now chant louder than that. Would be nice, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll repeat that sentence. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency, which is Radharani, are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. Now this is the highest truth in a very simple way, but you have to read between the lines also. Now there's a situation in Krishna's pastime where the highest truth in terms of pastime or lila. Before that, the word lila means to play. Means to play. Now, when somebody plays, they are carefree. There's no rules and regulations. They don't have any rent to pay. They don't have, electricity bills to pay. They don't have to go to work. It's carefree. Not careless. Carefree. So that's called lila. Pastime. And the highest lila for Krishna is called Rasa Lila. Where Krishna dances with Srimati Radharani and the other gopis. And the other gopis are expansions of Srimati Radharani coming through the heat and light, and Krishna is the fire and the inseparable. So it's different from the so-called dancing Srila Prabhupada says in the material world. So here we should know and understand that Srila Prabhupada is giving the highest truth here. He says, again, we can chant together loudly, raise your hand, that when we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Krishna are dancing, Prabhupada says, are dancing on your heart. So you don't need to become a participant in the Rasa Lila. When you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Radha Krishna, this is the highest truth. Radha Krishna are dancing on your tongue, and you become what is called the abode or the vessel of the entire Rasa Lila. You carry the entire spiritual abode simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on your tongue. But there's only one condition, transcendental condition. There's only one adhikar. There's only one qualification for this. You have to prepare your hearing. You cannot chant if you have not prepared to hear. Just like Srila Prabhupada gives the example, if you want to sow a seed in the ground, first the farmer, he has to prepare the soil and put some fertilizer, whatever is necessary, and some water. Then the seed goes, or a sapling, and then it will grow nicely. So similarly, if you have not prepared to hear, no matter how much you chant, it is useless. It is not going to have the effect. And Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice example. What's it? Some question? How many minutes? We have 15 minutes. Thank you. I'll finish before that. This is the announcement. What's your name? Gopeshwar. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in board. Gopeshwar. Dasi. That's what she is. She's Dasi. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada in a tape, you have to hear this tape. I mean, I'm hearing these tapes many times over and over. Srila Prabhupada in his tape, he said to one devotee, he said, what is this chanting? So the devotee was like shocked. He said, you're chanting like a parrot. So Srila Prabhupada imitated that. And the parrot is chanting, Hare, Hare, and then Srila Prabhupada said, if I press the parrot's neck, he won't be able to chant, in the tip. How many of you heard the tip? Who heard the tip? You're not hearing Prabhupada's tips? Caught you. Prabhupada said, not like that. Prabhupada said, you have to be hearing in order to chant. So therefore our first process is Shravana in Sanskrit. Then comes Kirtana. Hearing is first, then chanting. And then Smarana, which means remembrance in the heart. Nothing to do with the mind, nothing to do with the brain, nothing to do with the intellect. In fact, it's only to do with philosophy eventually on the absolute platform. Nothing to do with emotions on the mental platform. It's Shravana, Kirtana, and Smarana. So if you are prepared to hear, then you have to prepare to hear before you chant. Not that you chant and you try to hear. It's not going to work. You have to be prepared to hear, and then you chant, and then it will enter the heart. That's what Prabhupada is saying. When you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you hear first and then you chant. We think we should chant first and then hear. It's not like that. It's a very subtle difference here. So how do you prepare to hear? The first thing you have to do is you switch off your cell phone and leave it far away and don't get darshan of it. And as the Kali Yuga progresses, we have to say like this now. And we never had cell phones those days. Not even landline. I come from Bangladesh. We don't have phones. No TV. It was very nice. Vrindavan is like that. Even in the villages, they don't have electricity and all that stuff. They don't even have a passport. They don't even know who the Prime Minister of India is. So you have to come to that consciousness where you are prepared to hear. And the preparation to hear the chanting starts from the previous night, so that when you chant in the morning, it's clear. I am prepared to hear. Early to bed, early to rise. That's another thing. If you are not prepared to hear, then what are you really chanting? Cock, and then throat is there, you can't even chant with time of living this body. And don't chant in such a way in Kirtan that others must hear you. That's worse. Such a high state of false ego. How is it Kirtan? Did you chant your 16 rounds of japa before you led kirtan? So how are you prepared to hear your own chanting if you didn't chant your japa? And did you prepare to hear your own japa before you do any other service, including chanting in kirtan? It's a very, very, very refined science. So one time, His Holiness Swami, and Srila Prabhupada said this in many places, that Krishna consciousness is easy. I can also open some purports here and show you. Krishna consciousness is very easy. He said that. So one time, this Ramakrishna Goswami Maharaj, he had this sort of relationship with Prabhupada. He could be very direct with him and he could disagree with him also. And Prabhupada accepted it. He was a very mature person. So one time Ramakrishna Goswami said to Srila Prabhupada that I thought you said that Krishna consciousness is easy. And Prabhupada did say that. Yeah. Then Srila Prabhupada retorted to him, plain with it. He said, I never said that. See? Then Ramakrishna Goswami asked him, but Srila Prabhupada, what did you say? Then Srila Prabhupada said, I said that Krishna consciousness is simple. It's a fact. It's so simple that you will miss it. It's so simple that you'll miss it. So when you simplify your life and you simplify it to just come to basic needs in life, then Krishna consciousness becomes easy. You have to live a simple life to feel the easiness of Krishna consciousness. How simple is it? Prepare your hearing. If you don't prepare your hearing when you chant your japa, then it is very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's very difficult to hear you chanting if you haven't prepared your hearing. I do a short seminar for about 6 hours called The Path to Goloka Vrindavan. And one quotation of Prabhupada, and he told in a conversation, he said, you have to be prepared to go back to Goloka. It is not just automatic. In a similar way, you have to be prepared to hear the Mahamantra. And once you do that, then Radha Krishna actually dances on your tongue. And you become the abode of Sri Krishna's eternal dancing bhakti, the Rasalila itself. It is that simple. So we should put some efforts to first prepare Shravana. Then Kirtana will flow and Smarana will automatically enter the heart. Okay? Now, we can help you with that right now. So you close your eyes, just close your eyes, and you raise your hand. Now you prepare to hear your own chanting. It's very simple. You can chant 2 words after me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Now that was quite simple, right? Because I encouraged you to prepare your hearing. So therefore you have to have a sense of self, you could say discipline. I'm not always there for you to help you to prepare hearing. But you have to prepare yourself to hear and then you can chant. Nice. Is that all right? Now who is that person that came with some of our nice guests? Who is that person that ended up? She was making an announcement. Somebody came in a bus from Tonga to Bedouin or from where? Some nice guests here. Sri Vera Baba Perumal Temple in Tonga. Incidentally, my mother is from Hambanati near Florence. But she's late now, 45 years. So who's the leader? Who brought them? Sadie. Sadie, where are you? Sadie Kanda. Where are you? Are you here? We want to give you a gift today. We give gifts on Radhashtami. It's nice Bhagavata for you and the person you came.
Hare Krishna, is Sadie here? Or anyone from the Sri Veerabhoga Perumal Temple that would like to? The chairperson perhaps sitting amongst us?
Please come. We're going to give you this Bhagavad Gita I read from today, and one of our devotees will sponsor it for you. I'll get the sponsor later. Come. You can come on this side. Come on this side on the stage. Your name is? Come this side.
Hold the mic close.
Your name is Saroja.
Yes.
Nice. Now, I have to request you to do something before you get the gift. You know the Hare Krishna Mahamantra?
Yes.
So tell 2 words at a time. I'll help you along and everyone will follow you. Raise your hands, please. Say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone,
Hare Krishna.
2 words. Again?
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can you say it once more? Nice. You did good.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you're going to say better. Instead of the word Ram, you say Rama. That's it, huh?
Rama
No,
Rama.
hold on. Okay, once more. 3 times is good.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Thank you. I'm not giving you the book yet. There's one more condition. You and your team of persons from this Perumal temple, how often do you all meet in the week? Say in the microphone.
Most of the days, I assume, maybe on a Sunday, because we have
The Sunday is the main day.
no, because we have a lot of prayer in our temple.
Yes, but Sunday is the main day.
Main day.
What time to what time?
From Apus 8 to Apus 9.
Nice. So, can you share like 15 minutes of your time every Sunday?
Sure.
Can you read from this book? Is that okay?
I'll try my best.
You cannot try, you have to do it.
I will
This is another name for Krishna is Perumal Swami.
Yes.
You know this?
Yes.
Naughty. So how can you not read from Perumal Swami's book? I am Tamil, by the way. Tamil speaking, I know this. You can't get away. And then she's going to take your phone number down.
Okay.
And next Sunday, she's going to call you and you can explain what 15 minutes you get. Now, can you make the decision now?
Yes, I can.
Good. She's in charge. So they're going to read for 15 minutes during the 1 hour or so of service, right? They call it service, right? Is that okay?
Sure. Yes.
Now you have to read it in the end.
All right.
Because when you read it in the end, that's what they will remember when they go home. It's another trick. Give her the microphone. You come and stand next to her. Now you can take a nice photo. Now you stand on it. Hide. You stand in front of the front. So take a photo and put it in the temple. You got it from the Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Good. Let's stand for Saroj. Thank you. Thank you for that. Good. Okay, we bless them. This is wonderful. And Saroj, when I come next time to Tonga, you got a number phone number.
I will definitely take a
And bring
number.
like one box, it's 40 in one box. And we'll see what we can do, right? 40 books in one box, right? 40 Bhagavata. 25. Oh, it's less. It's less. Thank you very much. You've been very kind to me by allowing me to be of some service to you today on this most auspicious day of Sri Radhashtami. Is that okay? Radhashtami Mahamotsav ki, Shri Radha ki, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki, Shri Bhagavata ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
So thank you so much, Shiva. Let's give a huge round of applause. Thank you, Raj, for sharing such inspiring stories with us and motivating us in our spiritual life on this most auspicious day of Radhashtami. So I just have two announcements to make. Next week Sunday is the Virulum Rath Yatra, and that is going to be on the 6th of September. There is a bus leaving here at Shri Shri Radha Radhanath at 8:30 a.m. So for those of you that would be interested in joining the Virulum Rath Yatra, that is the festival of chariots there, you can most certainly catch a ride with the bus that will be leaving here at 8:30. If not, please be joining us with your private vehicles. It's going to be lots of fun. Aarti is starting in a few minutes in the temple room. We would like to thank the festival team for lovingly preparing the prasad for today. So if everyone can make their way to the temple room for Aarti, thereafter prasad will be served out right here at this marquee. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you all for our future programs as well. Hare Krishna.